he scores!
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Welcome back to McMorran Place Arena. Prowlers and Black Bears getting set for their 5th meeting of the season. This is the final weekend of the regular season that the Prowlers and the Black Bears will face off against each other, and the last chance for those two teams to get some shots in before playoff time in just a few short months. And again, with them being in the same division now, there's a decent chance that these two teams end up facing each other in the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. So we'll see if any kind of lasting impression is made by either side this weekend. But before we continue starting to talk about this weekend, we have to take a look back at Tuesday when both of these teams played on New Year's Eve, and both of them put up 7 spots. We start with the Black Bears, who did so against the hockey club that calls themselves Venom. A 7-2 Black Bears win. Binghamton was up 5-0 at one point in that game, and Dakota Bond and Tyson Kirkby ran the offense for the Bears that night. 4 points apiece. They were the only Black Bears with multiple points in that game. John Moriarty still had to make 55 saves for the Venom, despite giving up 7 goals. For the Prowlers, again, they also put up 7. This was a season high for them, 7 goals, as they defeated the Motor City Rockers on New Year's Eve. 7-3 the final there, as Joel Frazee and Tucker Scantleberry both scored twice. Valtteri Nusiainen picked up the victory, his 8th win of the season, as Port Huron continues to dominate its rival down in Fraser, Michigan, 45 minutes down the road. Take a look at the Empire Division standings, and that win for the Prowlers vaulted them over top of the Danbury Hat Tricks back into 3rd in the Empire Division. Although the Hat Tricks do now have 3 games in hand on the Prowlers, Port Huron, again, maintain control now of that 3rd spot. Well, not much other movement around the division, although the Venom have had a rough go of it the past few weeks and have fallen farther and farther behind the Motor City Rockers for that final spot in the playoffs. Well, Tyson Kirkby is the FPHL's leader in goals, assists, and points, and he's averaging over a goal per game, over an assist point per game, and over 2 points per game over his last 10. The Black Bears captain continuing to lead his team offensively. 21 goals, 24 assists, 45 points this season. Again, all of those lead the entire FPHL. Well, the Prowlers have been getting some offense from Reggie Millette lately. Last 6 games, 2 goals, 7 assists, 9 points for him. has a 6-game point streak that he is on, tied for the longest by any Prowler this season. And Reggie Millette, a huge part again of this Prowlers offense. He's had a point in 8 of his last 9 games since coming off of the IR. And I talked before this game with Prowlers assistant coach Chris Paulin about the matchup. Again, that was Prowlers assistant coach Chris Paulin ahead of tonight's matchup. Expect some physicality. As I said in the open, these two teams don't like each other. Lots of physicality between them in the first 4 matchups this season back in Binghamton. Prowlers not changing anything in their lineup. The only difference, Reed Cooper has been placed inactive, so he will not be, of course, between the pipes tonight, and instead the Prowlers have emergency backup Trevor Roy, a Brighton, Michigan native. Again, he is listed as an e-bug, so he would not be allowed to play unless Valtteri Nusiainen gets hurt. Let's take you down to ice level for the rest of tonight's pregame ceremonies.
Ceremonies. The Prowlers Spirit are coached by Anthony McNabb and CL Spirit Director Christy Harlow. Prowlers fans, let me hear you scream! It's time to meet tonight's orthopedic associates starting lineups. Calling tonight's starting lineups is Christopher Dent. We remind all members of the armed forces and veterans who are present but not in uniform that you may render the military salute. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a special welcome to the voice of the Prowlers, Sarah Dent.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the homeland of the brave.
Sarah Dent back on the anthem tonight at McMorrin Place. Prowlers and Black Bears moments away from puck drop. Let's take a look at tonight's starting goaltending matchup. It will be Nolan Egbert and Valtteri Nusiainen as the Kroger delivery truck brings out tonight's pucks for the game. Kroger, of course, a proud sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. When we take a look at the numbers for these two guys, Nusiainen, one of the top goaltenders in the FPHL, as he sits there with a .242 goals against average and .925 save percentage. Not necessarily the record to show for it. And on the other side, you look at another record that might not match up well with some of the stats. Nolan Egbert, an .884 save percentage, but still 7-2 on this season. As Egbert starting snaps a 4-game start streak for Connor McAnanama. And Nusiainen will be asked likely to carry the torch this weekend. Yoshihiro Kuriowa still on IR and Reed Cooper inactive. So the Prowlers have an E-Bug and Trevor Roy. So it looks like Nusiainen will have to play both games this weekend after playing on Tuesday. Matt Graham and Tyson Kirkby to take the face-off at center ice, and we are underway here tonight in Port Huron. It's Graham at the red line, trying to toss it across to Millette. One eluded him, and it's Dakota Bond, who had 4 points in his last game, including his first 2 goals of the season, but he does lead all FPHL defensemen with 22 assists. Millette had it hooked off his stick by Bond. Kirkby forced back out to the neutral zone. His team in the midst of a change. Spins away from Millette. He gave it right away to Ludwig Felstrom. Here comes Sim with Millette. Millette takes the shot, saved by Egbert, and Daniel Chartrand couldn't swipe at that bouncing puck. It was about a foot off the ice when he tried to whack at it. Austin Thompson dumps it in. Black Bears get another quick change. Touched in by Chartrand. First on it, Kenny Stiles. Bounced it back over to the far side. Sim tried to touch it back to the point. Lockhart steps in for it. Makes a nice move. Makes another. But he took a hit as he did. Arm is up in the air for a penalty. And a trip being called. And it looks like Brett Lockhart has drawn a penalty. It will be Kyle Steffen to the box. And a minute 10 into this one. Prowlers man advantage, which has been hot lately. 2 for 7 on Tuesday against the Rockers. Got its first opportunity against the second best PK in the FPHL at 88.9%. And it PK that was 8 for 8 on Tuesday against the against HC Venom, and also scored twice shorthanded, including a 5-on-3 shorthanded goal. That was Dakota Bond who scored the 5-on-3 shorty. Here's Johnson to Bussell, a one-timer, and it's knocked down and covered by Nolan Egbert, and of course Jamie Bussell, the former Black Bear, who made his Prowlers debut in Binghamton against the Bears after being selected off waivers by the Rock Lobsters and then traded to the Prowlers. Bussell's found his touch offensively these past couple of games, scored in back-to-back contests. Here's Graham bouncing it off the boards, and he finds Federley at the top. Tried to slip it down to Sim, got past him, and it's cleared down ice. Both teams making changes, 30 seconds gone in this Prowlers power play. Federley leaves it for Scantleberry fresh off the bench. Tucker Scantleberry on a 5-game point streak, scored twice on Tuesday, including a power play goal. Here he is, charging up the middle, gives to Millette, outside try, and Egbert able to shut it down with the blocker. Black Bears clear the zone. Lockhart, watched by Thompson, gives it up to Millette, and then off to Scantleberry. Stops up, Millette gives right back to Scantleberry. And now Millette again. Those two continue to play catch. Fired across in Lockhart's direction. Has to catch up to it. Lockhart tried to poke it back. That was taken away. Potential 2-on-1 for Binghamton shorthanded, but Millette with a good stick disrupted the pass from Mott to Weber. Millette collects that puck, makes a move around Mott. He slipped by one more Black Bear, but couldn't get into the offensive zone. Final 22 seconds ticking off this Prowlers power play. They have 2 shots on goal credited on this man advantage. Bussell works up the right wing into the offensive zone, steps around Bond. Bussell slides it along the wall, back up the near side, but Kirkby the only one there. Kirkby trying to dance to the net. He's blanketed by Johnson as Federley took the puck off his stick. And now here is the Prowlers captain starting up ice. Is to Bussell, tried to go back to Federley, popped off a stick up in the air. Scott Ramaker slides it over for Stone. Stone's pass missed Bond, but icing waved off, so Bussell forced to play it over to Johnson, slips it out in Federley's direction. Behind his own net, Federley bounces it to Johnson. Bussell couldn't bring in that pass, so Yates recollects for the Black Bears and tries to turn up ice. He's all the way back in his own end. Bond to Stefan. Stefan with a shot blocked by Fellstrom. Stefan working around the net. Gets it up high for Jesse Anderson, who bangs it down deep. Stubbs tries to turn the corner. Delayed penalty coming up against the Prowlers as Egbert heads to the bench. Stubbs dances his way back in. Sharktran touches up. And the first Prowlers penalty of the game belonging to Brian Parsons. Port Huron 0 for 1 on the man advantage. And now Binghamton with an opportunity just over 4 minutes in. After Port Huron got 2 shots that were stopped by Egbert on their power play. Helped to send out their PK, which was 3 for 4 on Tuesday. And now 6th in the league. Black Bears power play 5th in the FPHL. 2 for 5 on Tuesday against the Venom. But missing some of its better weapons. Black Bears tonight without Don Olivieri, who's a big weapon on that left wing face-off circle with his one-timers. Cam Clark also not making the trip. Another power play guy, and Josh Fletcher as well. Black Bears a little bit short-handed. They also had Zach Sirota going active this week. Kirkby's pass off of Matt Graham and down ice. They did get Chris Mott off the IR though, did the Black Bears. As Kirkby's pass flies off a stick, lands in the near side corner. Thompson saucers it across to Kirkby. To the net, deflected by Stubbs and wide. Thompson down for Stubbs. Leaves it in an area for Bond to skate into. Down for Yates to Kirkby on the near side. He tried a quick shot. That was stopped by the paddle of Nusiainen. And now Thompson tied up by Ben Brockway. They'll be separated. And the Black Bears will have 1 minute and 14 seconds left of power play time when we come back here on the PHP Network.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
The Eastern Michigan Small Business Network, providing resources and funding to help start or grow your business. Small business support in participating Region 6 counties. Take advantage of the network's free training and events for entrepreneurs and small business owners. The Eastern Michigan Small Business Network aims to boost your chances of success. Learn more about the network's Small Business Cohort Program. With rentable workspaces, business coaching, training, and funding opportunities, it's time to become a client of the Eastern Michigan Small Business Network.
Minute 14 left in the hooking penalty assessed to Brian Parsons. Just over 5 minutes into this one, and it is still scoreless. Looks like they're bringing this face-off outside of the Prowlers zone. And now the far linesman is pointing into the zone, and they will indeed move it. Their referees tonight are Kevin Mallett and Jonathan Paradise. The linesman Brandon Badens and Colin Pons. No, they won't move it. They'll leave it right where it is. So play continues with Yates entering the Prowlers' end. Goes over to Bond. And now Kirkby. Back across towards Yates off his stick. Recollects. Stubbs. Yates. Trying to make a move to the net. All the way around the cage. Yates with his head up. Goes down deep to Kirkby. Tried to slide it across. And Nusiainen broke up the pass himself with the paddle. Austin Thompson was right there on the doorstep. And that looked like the play the Black Bears were looking for. 44 seconds left in the Black Bears man advantage. Selen Steffen will take this face off. Steffen wins it over to Ramakers, still wearing the fishbowl with that broken nose. Ramakers with it now. Harassed by Stiles, gets to the blue line. Tried to send it on net. Stiles got his stick in the way. And that one flies into the protective netting out of play. And another whistle, another face-off on this Binghamton man advantage. 27 seconds left on it. This one cleared right down ice by Brockway. Prowlers have been getting sticks in lanes on this Binghamton power play, whether they be passing lanes and whether they be player sticks or goalie sticks. Shooting lanes as well, as you saw on that one right before that last whistle. As Stiles directed that puck up into the mesh. Lockhart takes away a pass and clears it down ice. That will take care of the rest of the power play. So both teams 0 for 1 on the man advantage. And we're still searching for our first goal. Nusiainen lays it behind his own net, under pressure from Steffen. Johnson in there as well. Steffen pokes it along. DC couldn't get that one through. Bellstrom trying to stick handle through some Black Bears. Able to recollect the puck, and Emery took it away. Gets it to Henry, his shot, gloved down by Nusiainen as Henry took a big check from Ludwig Bellstrom, but the Black Bears forecheck causing some issues for the Prowlers. Port Huron will make a change before this defensive zone face-off as they get Matt Graham's line out there. Ben Brockway and Brian Parsons. Again, if you missed the pregame show, Prowlers going with 11 forwards and 5 defensemen for the 3rd straight game. Sent towards the net, that was blocked. Hit some traffic on the way through. Henry trying to spin away from Brockway, sent it out in front. Stubbs couldn't kick it up to his stick as he was tied up. Now Millette looks to work out. Trying to find Federley, has to recollect. Backhands it deep. Stubbs had it taken by Graham at the side of the post. Egbert has his blocker on top of it. And he covers up for a whistle and a face-off, but Matt Graham causing some trouble for CJ Stubbs. And Egbert had to be alert. Face-off coming down to Egbert's end. Egbert played both games the last time the Prowlers were in Binghamton. Both the Prowlers win and the Black Bears win. And he starts tonight. After Connor McAnanima started the last 4. Johnson's stick fails him as he tried to pass it deep. Trying to do all he can without a twig to keep Austin Thompson from getting a good rush. And Johnson did just that. Prowlers back the other way. Chartrand down low looking towards Sim. And they just couldn't connect. Styles to Chartrand, makes the shot kick save by Egbert. And Yates starts out with it. Yates couldn't drag through, ended up pushing it deep behind the Prowlers net. Arm is up in the air for a penalty, and now Anderson and Johnson are getting after it. I'm not sure what the penalty was for. They must have ruled that one of the Prowlers defending Yates did something that they're not allowed to do. A high stick is the signal, and Daniel Chartrand the guilty party. So Chartrand to the box, Black Bears to the power play for the 2nd time tonight. 1 shot on their previous man advantage. Draw will be Tanusiainen's left to begin this power play. Tyson Kirkby's unit with Yates, Thompson, Stubbs, and Bond. Kirkby pushes this one back. Yates at the blue line, over to Stubbs. Down towards Thompson, slipped past him. Brockway in there to challenge, and Yates comes up with the puck. Yates towards Bond at the blue line. Down to Kirkby, walking back up high. Bond towards Yates, has a shot at the net, and he shot it right into Tanusiainen's glove. And now Brockway and Thompson getting back into it. You know, Austin Thompson is a guy who will cause trouble in front of the net. We've seen it a lot. Everybody separated for now. Brockway off to the Prowlers bench as Port Huron gets some fresh defenders out there. Johnson tosses this one only as far as the blue line. Bond scores! Tanusiainen didn't see it at all. Thompson setting the screen right in front. It's a power play goal for Dakota Bond. And a 1-0 lead for the Binghamton Black Bears. Tanusiainen didn't see that one until it was already past him. Bond with a seeing eye wrister through the traffic. 2 players right in front of Tanusiainen. Dakota Bond has his 3rd of the year. He came in with a point in 3 of his last 4, and all of those 3 were multi-point efforts. Henry tried to slip this one out in front. It's taken by Johnson, and out comes Scantleberry. Cross corner dump. DC and Weber after it. So is Bussell. Weber took a tumble. Wrapped up the boards. Lockhart puts it back deep. Scantleberry trying to settle it down. Poirier able to. And Weber goes off the glass. Kept in momentarily by Parsons. Bussell skates into it on his backhand. Curls back. Leaves it for Parsons. who sends it deep. And DC heads after it. Try to go up to Lockhart, and they couldn't connect. Puck comes all the way back down to the Prowlers' end. So Yates and Thompson picking up the assists on the goal by Dakota Bond. Prowlers turn it over in their own end, but now they're able to get it out of the zone. And here's Bussell with a toss in on Egbert. He just gets down to make the save and lets Anderson collect. Yates works up. Plenty of Prowlers back as Stubbs works on the wing, centering feed off a skate, ends up on the near side. Millette with his head up. Took a hit in the corner, 2-on-2 scrum. Yates back to this side, and Cervoni gets it deep. Cervoni scored his first pro goal last weekend against the Danbury Hat-Tricks, part of a 5-0 win for the Black Bears against Danbury on the road. Brockway giving Stubbs the business on the boards. Johnson takes the puck away from Yates. Brockway's lost his helmet. Meanwhile, Millette has it in the neutral zone, tried to bounce it ahead. It's taken back by Steffen. Stubbs couldn't dance past Thelstrom as Ludwig Thelstrom came off the bench to defend. Johnson skates with it. His saucer pass to Millette didn't work, but Johnson first after it in the offensive end. Anderson finds that loose puck. Starts to head up ice with it. Over to Ramekers, trying to go back to Anderson. They couldn't connect. And Millette goes off the window and back down ice. Under 10 to play here in period one. Black Bears with the only goal, a power play marker from Dakota Bond. Ramekers rink wide feed. Too far ahead of Thompson, but he wins the race for icing. Or taking a hit from Thelstrom. Puck caught up in the referee's skates. Thompson tried a one-touch pass to the center. That was blocked by a Prowler's stick. Stone kept it in. Kirkby to the front, fighting through, and he scores! Tyson Kirkby slips that one home. Looked like it may have gone 5-hole on Valtteri Nusiainen, and Binghamton with a 2-0 lead. League leading 22nd of the year for Kirkby, as he fought through all kinds of checks to get that shot away. Prowlers now trailing by a pair. They're in period one. Stone fanned on that pass, trying to push it up ice. Bond, long feed, looking for Thompson. Icing waved off as Nusiainen came out to play. Pushed out of the zone. Bussell couldn't work it in Paris's direction. Here's Kirkby with a shot, steered to the corner by Nusiainen. Lockhart moves it along. Paris almost gave it away. Paris still battling for it, but Bond gets it deep. So Kirkby gets the goal from Stone and Ramekers. As Paris with a reverse hit on Weber, and Weber took down Paris on the ice. That one sent out of play, but they say it went off of the glass before going out of play. And Weber having a chat with Isaiah Paris as those two head to their respective benches, and then Paris bumped into Emerson Emery. We'll take a break, 2-0 Black Bears, 8:04 left to go in the first.
Welcome to McDonald's, how may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not...
Not a Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Chicken bag, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
Back here at McMorran Place, Bears get 2 in 2 minutes and 59 seconds. They take a 2-0 lead. Dakota Bond and Tyson Kirkby, who each had 4 points on Tuesday against the Venom. The 2 goal scorers here tonight. Prowlers get an offensive zone draw here as the puck was sent out of play just before the TV timeout. And they'll have to get the next goal, certainly, you'd think. See if they can find one here. One of their hot sticks, Reggie Millette, out there right now. Federley in the corner. Center for Graham. Kick save by Egbert, and then he reached behind his leg just to make sure he had it underneath him. Another face-off. Binghamton elects to change up their forward line. Steffen and Graham this time on the draw. Graham wins it back. Millette over to Parsons. Sends it down deep. Federley working in the corner. Fires it back up top to Parsons. To the net. Easy glove grab for Nolan Egbert. 7th save of the night for Egbert. Prowlers send out the line with Stefan DC, who made his Prowlers debut in Binghamton against the Black Bears and scored a goal in that game. That was the Prowlers' 5-3 win over Binghamton. Their only win over the Black Bears this season in 4 tries. This is game number 5. Weber tossed it out, kicked along by Lockhart. Now Lockhart around for Johnson. Pushed into the wall, followed up by Frazee, sent it in Shirttrand's direction. Johnson lost it, Stubbs all the way around the net, centering feet, diving play by Frazee to keep that one from getting to Yates. Lockhart tried to step in front of a pass to Stubbs. That one went off his stick, and then Poirier's shot ended up deflecting into the corner, right back to CJ Stubbs. He leaves it for Poirier from the line. Glove grab by Valtteri Nusiainen, and he'll hang on. We approach 7 minutes left to go in the opening period. Black Bears have had some good shifts down in the Prowlers' end. It's taken some Herculean efforts at times. Just make sure these centering passes don't get through. Binghamton with some more opportunities in the offensive end off the win. Face-off. Here's Kirkby from in tight, and Nusiainen able to make the save. Stiles pulls it out of the corner and starts up. A 4-on-3 rush for Port Huron. Stiles elects to chip it in, head after it himself, and throws the body into Cervoni. Ramakers turning away from Stiles, gives it across to Cervoni, quickly back the other direction to Kirkby. Kirkby forced to send it deep. Cervoni, the defenseman, in tight, and the pass in front was to Ramakers. Nusiainen stands tall. Another face-off coming deep in the Prowlers' end as Cam Cervoni almost found Scott Ramakers there. Ramakers himself on a 4-game point streak. 5 points in that span. It's his first full pro year. Collegiate signing by the Black Bears last season. And he fared well, 7 points in 8 games at the end of last year, and of course finished it off with a Commissioner's Cup championship. Here's Cervoni taking the body from Graham as he moved the puck. Federley able to keep it deep. Cervoni overskated it, turns it out, but gave it away to Graham. Federley back in. His shot stopped by Egbert, all the way out at the top of his crease. Pass was behind Mott. They get back up to him, and Thostrom spins away from Emery. Stone back in the neutral zone. Softly dumped in. Hillstrom couldn't find his intended target, but kicked off of Stephenson, no icing. Egbert plays it up to Emery. Couldn't move it along. Emery forced to go back to Bond as it got caught up in the linesman. Here's Stone. Steffen tips it deep. Lockhart bounces it around to Styles. Tipped in by Chartrand. Stone the first one on it, and Chartrand deflected that one in from his own side of center. So we'll be icing against the Prowlers, and now Steffen and Lockhart bumping back in the Prowlers' end. And those two need to be broken up. And Brockway over to have a chat with Kyle Steffen as well. And those two continuing to talk. Finally, everybody separated. We're set for this face-off. Steffen wins it back. Yates backhands it deep. Steffen right there in the corner. Back for Yates. That one just slipped under his stick. And Chartrand goes to Kenny Styles. His dump in, hit Bond, and back comes Yates galloping the other direction. He's tripped up by Chartrand, and the third power play of the period coming to the Black Bears when we come back. And Binghamton already 1 for 2 on the man advantage and leading by a pair. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
At Hungry Howie's, we have a flavor philosophy. It's that you deserve to mix and match the most delicious flavor you've ever had with even more of the most delicious flavor you've ever had. But how can you mix and match the most delicious flavor twice at the same time? Well, we're not in the business of logic. We're in the business of blowing your flavor-loving mind with flavor upon flavor. Philosophize on that. Get any 2 items on the mix and match menu, including the 2-topping flatbread pizza for $6.99 each.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Back here in Port Huron, it is 2-0 Black Bears as they're about to go to their third power play of the period. Daniel Chartrand in the box for the second time, tripping the call against him. As the Prowlers have been overwhelmed at times early on in this game, Black Bears have really been able to do whatever they want at times in the offensive zone. They've cycled it around, gotten good chances in front, and they've converted a couple of times. While Terry Nuciana has had to deal with a lot of traffic at the top of his crease. And the cause of a lot of that traffic, Austin Thompson stepping out there to begin this Black Bears power play. This unit was the one that scored for Binghamton. Dakota Bond, the goal scorer, right up there at the top of that Flags logo, right by the blue line. Tyson Kirkby has been asked to leave the faceoff. And it looks like Austin Thompson will come in to take it instead against Joel Frazee. Comes back to Bond. Quick wrister goes wide. They've been deflected on the way through. Stubbs to Bond, sent down to Thompson. Sharp angle try, and Nucianen sealed off the post. Bond able to reach out and keep that puck in. Yates trying to fend off Brockway. Thompson in tight again, and Nucianen another save. Couldn't cover up though as the puck was still loose. Kirkby up high, Bond right back down the boards. Kirkby collects it with his glove and drops it to his stick. Bond down low, Yates back door looking towards Thompson. That was blocked by Brockway, and it's cleared out by Lockhart. 45 seconds gone on this Binghamton power play. Thompson leaves it for Yates, spinning. Bond follows him up, and Stubbs goes right back to Bond. Step to the middle, takes the shot, punched away by Nusiainen, and Skittleberry turns and fires it down. Both teams making changes as Anderson steps to that puck fresh off the bench. Goes to Stefan on the right wing side. Stefan looking in Mott's direction, that didn't work, and Johnson turns and sends it all the way down again. 35 seconds left on this Black Bears power play. Anderson up to Stone. Working his way in. Got past Ramekers. Mott picks it up off the wall and rims it around back to Stone. Sent across the line to Stefan on net. And Nusiainen has it in the breadbasket. Or whistle and a face-off. Mott, pardon me, was looking for the deflection. And I don't think he got a piece of it. Nusiainen was able to make that save. 17 ticks left on the tripping penalty to Daniel Chartrand. Black Bears with 3 shots on this power play so far. Hillstrom had that one go off a couple of bodies and right to Dan Stone as he tried to clear it down. Ramekers to Stone. Try to send a pass back out high. Split everybody on the blue line. And that will do it for the Binghamton power play. Black Bears still leading 2-0. And now 1 for 3 on the man advantage. It's Lockhart over to Hillstrom. Tried to slip it on through to Bussell. Comes to DC, who hands back off to Jamie Bussell. Working on the right wing side, poked away by Anderson. Lockhart with a wrister, he scores! Brett Lockhart sends a seeing eye shot through, and the Prowlers are on the board. And it looks like this one will be Lockhart's goal, his 3rd of the year. He continues his hot streak, now points in 5 of his last 6. Right after the Prowlers kill off the penalty, they get back in the game. All kinds of traffic in front of Egbert, much like the Bond goal for the Black Bears. A nice shot there from Brett Lockhart. You don't always need the big clapper from the point. Sometimes just a wrister will do. We saw that on Tuesday when Ludwig Hillstrom tied the game against the Rockers at 1. Just that seeing eye wrister through traffic can find the back of the net if the goalie can't see it. Black Bears trying to answer. It's Thompson towards Ramekers. He let a one-timer go that almost took off the head of his captain, Tyson Kirkby. Weaver sends it down to Thompson. Taken into the boards by Hillstrom. Johnson takes the puck. And here comes Millette with Graham and Federley. Whips it across to Federley. Opens up in his shot. Turned away by Egbert. They announce Jamie Bussell and Isaiah Paris, the assists on the goal by Lockhart. Hillstrom took a bump. Stubbs took the puck away. Looking for a passing option. Spinning in the corner, trying to make a pass to the point, but Weber decided to head to the bench, so nobody home there. Stone up to Yates, has Stone going to the net. Yates sent it there, and it's blockered behind the net by Nusiainen. Lockhart almost lost it as he made a pull-up move. They finally blow the whistle. As it came to Nusiainen, he covered up. And that was dangerous for the Prowlers. 1:11 left to go here in period 1. Well, coming up in the Moses Roses Smoke Break first intermission report, we'll go around the Empire, all the highlights from this past week, last weekend's games, plus New Year's Eve. We'll also take a look at some storylines from around the league, high-profile trade being made this week, and much more. It's all coming up on the Moses Roses Smoke Break. Step into the net, and another quick glove save from Nusiainen. Paris gets his first point off or second point in as many games. as he had an assist on Tuesday against Motor City. And Jamie Bussell now with points in 4 of his last 5. Bussell lining up for the faceoff against Steffen. And Bussell wins it back. Brockway rims it hard all the way around. Scantleberry collects at the red line and sends it in deep. Bond and DC cancel out. Bussell comes in for the puck. Bond looking around towards Stone, has to collect as it popped off the back of the cage. And now Yates works up. As Steffen with him, Yates gets the shot off, and Usiainen another stop. That didn't get all the way through to him, wasn't sure for a second. Usiainen has looked sharp recently and has allowed the Prowlers to get back in this game, making some pretty good saves. That was his 14th save of this opening period. Thompson tried to send that one out in front. It hit a couple of players who were battling at the bottom of the circle. Meanwhile, Kirkby and Graham ended up running that post off its moorings. We'll see where they place the face-off. Looks like they're pointing outside, so they'll say it was Kirkby's fault. 34.3 seconds left to go in period number 1. Graham and Kirkby will draw. Graham able to win it back. Felstrom retreats and goes over to Johnson. Johnson takes the skating room, gets the red line, dumps it around. Millette couldn't tap it towards Graham. Kirkby trying to chop it out. It does get to the neutral zone. Johnson with his head up. Prowlers have time for one last rush. Johnson on the left wing. Cervoni fell down. Here's Johnson a shot, and it's held onto by Nolan Egbert as he squeezes it between his arm and his body. And Egbert certainly has a habit of coming all the way out outside his crease when the Prowlers are coming in straight on a rush, cutting down the angle and giving Port Huron shooters nothing to look at. 6.2 left to go. Scantleberry lined up right behind Graham for this faceoff. Graham gets it back. Scantleberry fanned on the shot. Johnson takes it, and it's blocked by Ramakers. He gets it out of the zone, and that will do it for the opening 20 minutes here in Port Huron. And now Scantleberry and Kirkby getting involved, the number 17s, as they're separated by the linesmen. And now the Prowlers will head off to their dressing room, followed soon by Binghamton. We'll see if anything comes of that. We may have some 4-on-4 to begin period 2. That looked like the signal from the referee. We hit the first intermission as the Black Bears hold a 2-1 lead. Once again, coming up on Moses Rose's Smoke Break first intermission report. We'll go around the Empire. All of the highlights from these last week of games, last weekend, and of course New Year's Eve, which both of these teams played on. Also look at some storylines from around the league, the out-of-town scores, and the game stats, all coming your way. So stick around here on the PHP Network for the Moses Rose's Smoke Break first intermission report. Well, the Prowlers are celebrating 10 seasons in Port Huron. Now is your chance to get limited edition 10th anniversary gear at the Prowlers team store. Come find us on the west end of McMorran Arena or online anytime at prowlersmerch.com. You can scan the QR code on your screen now to visit the online shop. Look your po-ho best with gear from the Prowlers team store. It's 2-1 Binghamton through 20 minutes as the Prowlers did get themselves back in the game, but they still trail. They'll talk about it in the locker room, and we'll take a quick break here on the PHP Network.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches, Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should have just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com.
Shoots down the wall. Gokaryev centers. Comes all the way out for Shinkarik. Shinkarik drops the shoulder to the net. He scores. Carter Shinkarik completes the comeback for the Lobsters as the Prowlers fall tonight in Athens.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PHProwlers, and Twitter at PHProwlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Back here at McMorran Place, 20 minutes down, 40 still to go. And the Black Bears with a 2-1 lead over the Port Huron Prowlers. Will Wiggleman back with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on this Friday night. And a good game so far. Both teams getting goals on seeing eye wrist shots with traffic in front from the point. And then Tyson Kirkby scoring the second one for Binghamton as well. But before we continue talking about this game, let's take a look around the league, starting with our league storylines. And a big trade went down earlier on this week, and it involved a former Prowler. Davide Gaeta is now a member of the Watertown Wolves, as he was dealt earlier this week. 23 assists this season for Gaeta. That is good for second in the FPHL, and yet he is no longer a member of the Venom. And the Venom were really a one-line team throughout the start of this season. At least they felt like a one-line team. At Gesso, Gaeta, and Nareka line was doing nearly all of their damage offensively, and now they have lost one of them, and of course Dustin Gesso not in the lineup every night, so we'll see how the Venom can try and score goals after giving away Davide Gaeta. The Zydeco might have some trouble scoring as well, as they've given up Elijah Wilson. He was placed inactive, and he was leading the Zydeco in goals, assists, and points so far this season. And another trade that went on this week, TJ Prexler, who played 3 games with the Zydeco this year, now dealt to the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Again, a couple of big moves, couple of big offensive players on the move around the FPHL. Gaeta and Wilson making different kinds of moves, but still no longer, or at least not with their clubs at the moment. So we continue going around the league. We start with our out-of-town scoreboard start in Danbury. 2 games are already underway, but that's it so far. And the Hat-Tricks are tied 3-3, or 3 games, pardon me, underway so far. Hat-Tricks and Venom tied up at 3 goals apiece, so maybe the Venom not having too much trouble scoring goals at the moment, despite making that trade. Again, it is 3-3. Josh LaBelle has 2 for the Danbury Hat-Tricks in that one. Rockers trailing the Carolina Thunderbirds by a score of 4-1 down in Winston-Salem, as Carolina has 2 goals from Nate Keeley in that one, as they are still playing in period number 1. Dashers and Moccasins will drop the puck coming up in just a couple of minutes in Monroe. Meanwhile, in action right now, we have the Battle of Georgia, the River Dragons and the Athens Rock Lobsters. It's 2-0 Lobsters as they just dropped the puck on period 2. Philip Virgili and Brendan Ronan, the goal scorers in that one. Watertown is in Mississippi tonight, and it will be Anton Borodkin in net for the Dry Wolves and Samuel Best in between the pipes for the Sea Wolves. They are down in Biloxi. And finally, the Blue Ridge Bobcats are visiting Baton Rouge. Brendan Colgan in between the pipes for the Zydeco, and Hunter Verostic, the scheduled starter for the Blue Ridge Bobcats. And of course here it is 2-1 in favor of the Binghamton Black Bears. So we take a look at the stats from that opening period, and I was right, there are penalties coming up after that little scrum that ensued at the end of the frame. And Tyson Kirkby and Tucker Scantleberry will each have to sit the first 2 minutes of this second period as they each pick up roughing penalties. Binghamton 1 for 3 on the man advantage in that opening frame, including that seeing eye shot from Dakota Bond. Again, plenty of traffic in front of Valtteri Nusiainen on that one. And of course, Tyson Kirkby scored fighting off checks, just able to slip it. Looked like 5-hole on Nusiainen. Prowlers came back with a goal of their own. Brett Lockhart through a moving screen on Nolan Egbert. They've actually changed the secondary assist on that one to Seppin DC. So they take it away from Isaiah Paris, and now DC has extended his point streak to 5 straight games. This is the Black Bears hitting the ice here. Prowlers soon to follow. We take a look at our PHP Network trivia question. Prowlers scored a season-high 7 goals on Tuesday against Motor City. We want to know, what is Port Huron's all-time franchise record for goals in a game? So put your guess in the comments section, and we will give you the correct answer coming up at the start of period number 3. And Tuesday was the first time the Prowlers scored multiple goals in all 3 periods this season. Again, season high 7, 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and 3 in the third. They put 46 shots on goal, including a season high 20 in period 1. That was tied for the most that they've had in a first period this season. So an overall dominant effort, probably the Prowlers' best game of the season on Tuesday against their in-state rivals, the Motor City Rockers. Looking for a good effort here in the second as they try and tie this hockey game. Valtteri Nusiainen down the goal crease, 2 hour left. He made 14 saves on 16 Black Bears shots. Nolan Egbert in the goal crease, 2 hour right, 10 saves on 11 Prowlers shots in that opening 20. And we'll begin period 2 with 4-on-4 action. Number 17 in the box on both sides. The Prowlers send out Frazee, Millette, Federley, and Johnson. Go up against Thompson, Stubbs, Stone, and Bond. Just waiting for the penalties to go up on the clock. There they are. And the number 23s, Frazee and Stubbs, on the face-off dot to get things started in period number 2. As Bond starts with it behind his own net. Black Bears get the first possession. Bond trying to get away from Reggie Millette. Instead, he passes it off towards Thompson. He couldn't handle the feed cleanly, and now the Prowlers take over. Federley works up with plenty of skating room. Gets in, tried a little toe drag move, and it slid to Egbert. He covers up for a whistle and a face-off. 33 seconds into period 2. Egbert did have a little bit of trouble with that one, but he was able to gather it in and clip the glove on top with Federley bearing down on him. Prowlers send out Matt Graham to take this face off against Stubbs. Thelstrom tried to dangle through, couldn't do it, comes right back to Ludwig Thelstrom, and he goes to Bussell up the wall. Bussell turning the corner on his backhand, and he spins and puts it out top to Parsons. He gives it back to Bussell. Parsons a drive on the one-timer, and Egbert has that one in the glove for a whistle and a face-off. Jamie Bussell flying out there a little bit, twisting and turning in the offensive zone. A little bit more room out there in 4-on-4. Prowlers go back to Frazee and Millette up front for this offensive zone draw. Crazy will take it against Stefan. And comes to the wall, Anderson. Gets around behind his own net and starts up. Leaves it for Yates, who skates into it with speed. Yates flying in on the right wing side. Backhander from about the goal line. Stopped by Nusiainen, and back comes Millette the other way. Over to Ben Brockway, jumping in on the play. His try is stopped by Egbert. And Brockway gave Egbert a little snow shower. Anderson didn't like that, but Millette intercepted Anderson before he got to Brockway. And now it's Millette and Anderson, pardon me, having words. Reggie Millette heads off to the bench for a change. Jamie Bussell back out there for the Prowlers, this time paired with Stefan DC. Bussell wins this face-off back. Parsons right on goal. And Egbert gloves it down again. About a foot, maybe a little bit less, outside of his crease. Scantlebury and Kirkby scheduled to be released when the clock hits 18 minutes on your screen. As Anderson goes across to Yates. And he leaves it for Stefan. Works into the offensive zone. Stefan spins away from Johnson. Puts it on net. Slipped it right through the crease. And out comes the puck. Cervoni forced to play it. Yates gets to the offensive end, and his shot rides up off a stick and out of play. With 8 seconds until Scantlebury and Kirkby are released. Prowlers with the first 4 shots on goal of this second period, 2 of them for Brian Parsons. Still looking to tie this game. Comes to the wall, Brockway back behind the net to Lockhart. And Brockway again. Gets it on for Matt Graham, just a bit out of his reach. Back to 5-on-5 with Scantlebury and Kirkby stepping out of the penalty boxes. Lockhart bangs it back in. Poirier bounced towards Weber, got through him. Yates was waiting for it. Graham came in to disrupt, and Lockhart sends a shot through, kicked out by Egbert, and then sent off the backboards by Brockway. Lockhart back on net. That one off a skate. Comes back towards the net, and I think Egbert might have gotten a piece of it sliding across. He was swimming. Lockhart curl and drag shot, and Egbert knocks it down before a Prowlers tackled in front. I believe that's Scantlebury. Not sure who the Black Bear is that's involved. But Nolan Egbert may have just made a spectacular save on that rebound. A few moments ago, the Prowlers were threatening after the 4-on-4 ended. It looks like that was Weber who was tied up with Scantlebury. Weber back to his skates, and Scantlebury without a helmet. Get back up as well. Weber heading over to the penalty box. And it looks like Scantlebury will be right back over there. So I might have some more 4-on-4 for you. And indeed we do. We played 2 minutes of 4-on-4 in this period and 36 seconds at 5-on-5. And we're about to get another 2 of 4-side hockey. Bussell, Federley, Johnson, and Thelstrom for the Prowlers. It's Kirkby, Ramaker, Stone, and Bond for the Black Bears to start things off, and Kirkby wins that face-off back clean. Stone chips it past Johnson, gets to it on the other side, chased by Federley. Stone gets it to Kirkby. And now Stone trying to drag it off the wall. He does. Bond, a shot sliding, blocked by Bussell. Kirkby trying to turn it back on net, finally reached out and got it. But by the time he did that, Nusiainen was square to him. Johnson had his pass hit a skate. Bussell looked a little shaken up as he headed over to the Prowlers bench. He'll get some attention from the training staff. Here's Johnson at the red line. Pulls up, backhands it, only as far as Bond. Now Kirkby. Up to Bond, gets in his shot, fought off by Nusiainen. He just got a piece of it. Johnson up to Federley. Sends Millette into the offensive zone. Drops the shoulder, but he couldn't get the shot away. Egbert plays it off to Anderson with the Prowlers in the midst of a change. Anderson leaves it in an area for Cervoni to skate into. Try to send it right in on Nusiainen. That one changed direction, hit the top of the crossbar, and went out of play. That was dangerous. I think it deflected off of one of the Prowlers that was retreating back into the Port Huron end. It's definitely changed direction, at least slightly, and ended up, sounded like hitting either the knob of Nusiainen's stick or the top of the crossbar, just barely glancing off the top of the post, but we stay 2-1. Almost a turnover there as Thompson's shot went over top of the cage. And we're moving up ice now are the Prowlers, but Lockhart offsides as he lost an edge, and Sim walked along the blue line. 27 seconds left in 4-on-4. Straw will come outside of the Black Bears zone. It'll be the former college teammates, Kenny Stiles and Daniel Chartrand, up front for Port Huron. Played together a year at Northland College. And Chartrand came here to Port Huron. This is his third season as a pro, all with the Prowlers. And Stiles in his rookie year. Cervoni took a hit from Brockway as he dumped it in. Thelstrom harassed by Stubbs. They tie up in the corner. Thelstrom tried to pull it out. He got to Stiles, trying to make a couple of moves around Stubbs. Meanwhile, back to 5-on-5 as Scantleberry and Weber were released. Brockway sends it around. Pops out for Scantleberry. Lost the handle. Chartrand couldn't get it back deep. Johnson couldn't poke it in. Here comes Yates with Steffen. Yates, and he just lost it. Lockhart plays it back to Johnson. Long pass it towards Scantleberry. Icing waves also DC. Sends it down and around. Stone, the first one on it for the Black Bears. Around towards Bond. Moved up the wall. Ends up at the point for Parsons. He gets it back down towards Scantleberry. Mott. His clearing attempt blocked by Graham. And now Mott will skate it. Goes to Steffen, who fires a pass to Yates. Drop from Mott. Back to Yates. The one-timer hit the crossbar. Some beautiful passing there from the Black Bears to move up ice. And Gavin Yates, a crossbar away from restoring the 2-goal lead. Poirier trying to play away from Federley. He stumbled. Here comes Federley all alone, and he couldn't tuck it back the other way. Mott gets the red line. Austin Federley with a golden opportunity. Tried to go with one hand back the other way to catch Egbert sliding to one side, and just couldn't do it. There's Millette back in. Tried to pass it back to Graham, but he was off for a change. Luckily for the Prowlers, Sim flies in for it. Sim to the net, and Egbert diving out to make sure that puck doesn't slip past him. He gets a whistle and a face-off. Prowlers pressuring in period 2, but the Black Bears have hit a crossbar. It's still 2-1 Binghamton. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not...
A Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Chicken bag, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Live where you work. Work where you play. Is your work commute making you miserable? Quit the commute. Explore hot jobs in St. Clair County paying $40,000 to $100,000 or more. Visit stclairhotjobs.com. Spend more time doing what you love. If you're not currently living in St. Clair County, or you know friends or family that moved away but are ready to come back, then visit stclairhotjobs.com to find a new job and make the move.
Back here in Port Huron, Austin Federle with an awesome opportunity to tie up this score. And he might have tried to make one too many moves as he tried to go back across and one-hand it in. As Egbert was sliding from his right to his left. And unfortunately for the Prowlers, there's still trail. As Johnson, with a quick shot, just missed the target. Federle recollects it off the boards. Makes a couple of moves. Tried to dance around Ramekers. Has it back. Slips it out to Thelstrom with some space. Tried to slide down low. Pinballs around. And Stone able to rescue it. It's poked along for Ramekers. Has Kirkby hustling to join him. Tried to get it there. Knocked away by Reggie Millette. And now Kirkby with the lane to the net. Poked off his stick by Nusiainen. Out comes Graham all by himself. So he'll slow things down and dump it deep. Stone puts a hard hit on Millette. Both of them went down to the ice momentarily. Lockhart up for Chartrand into the offensive zone. His long range try swallowed up by Egbert. Prowlers up on shots in this period right now, 10-2. They've taken the shots lead for the game, 21-18, but Egbert has stopped all 10 he's faced this period. 11 shots all of the first 20 minutes for the Prowlers. And it's taken them less than 8 minutes to get to 10. They've come out with some jump in this middle frame. Anderson bounces this one up towards Caden Henry, and he backhands it deep. Nusiainen goes back up that direction. Scantleberry couldn't play it through up the wall. Henry took a hard hit from Brockway. He's able to cycle it deep. Emery and Bussell come together. Scooping up the puck is Mott. Tried to find Anderson sneaking in from his defensive position. Now Anderson in the corner for Emery. Head up, slips it all the way across. Couldn't find a friendly stick as Henry was tied up. Brockway finishes his check on Caden Henry. Puck came right back up that direction. Icing waved off, so the Prowlers will get a change. Probably the best shift of the period for Binghamton. And here's a turnover. It came right back to Emery. Scantleberry throws a big check on Emery. Sim on for Stiles. Stiles goes across to Johnson, walks the line, couldn't get that one through as it was blocked. Stiles tried to go back up the boards towards Parsons, who poked it away from Yates. Good play by Brian Parsons to keep that puck alive in the offensive zone. Poirier trying to turn away from Stiles, who's all over him. Graham steps in front of Yates to poke that puck. And finally, Yates able to get it over to Stubbs, and the Black Bears get out. Stubbs reaches back after it in the corner. He's taken in hard. Chartrand couldn't poke it past Weber. And now Weber gets to his forehand, and that is pocket picked by Daniel Chartrand. Poirier over to Steffen. Up comes Yates, poked off his stick by Johnson. Parsons and Stubbs come together in the corner. Weber out to the middle of the ice to Yates as the shooting lane takes it, and it's blockered by Nusiainen. Steffen back to the net. That was blocked. Delayed penalty coming up against the Prowlers. And we'll see what the call is here as Egbert was hustling to the bench. Black Bears to their 4th power play of the game. Johnson knocked down by Steffen. Parsons trying to go right back after Kyle Steffen. It's Chartrand to the box. I haven't seen the signal from the referees. Brent Sherwood, the second-year head coach for the Black Bears, down at the front of his bench to talk to his team. Tucker Scantleberry having a conversation with one of the referees over by the scorer's table. Looks like 4 minutes up on the board for Daniel Chartrand. A double minor coming. And a huge opportunity for Binghamton. Already has one power play goal in this game. And now Federley asking possibly the same question that Scantleberry was asking. They're sending Scantleberry back to the Prowler bench. And Federley having a conversation with one of the referees. Referees wearing different numbers on the ice than they're listed on the website, so I'm not sure who is who. My apologies. Four-minute power play. And we continue to have a delay as the penalties have come down on my sheet. Chartrand got 2 for roughing and 2 for unsportsmanlike conduct. Prowler assistant coach Chris Paulin trying to get the explanation now. And he seems satisfied. Federley seems satisfied. And we'll finally start this Black Bears power play. Yates with a quick shot. Missed wide, goes off the dasher and pops over the protective netting, out of play. And the fans at McMorran Place voicing their displeasure towards the refereeing tonight. It is the Black Bears' 4th and 5th power plays of the game, technically, with it being a double minor. Prowlers have had 1 so far.
Second period, Prowlers back on the rebound.
Face-off comes to Stubbs, and the Bears set back up. Bond takes a look, goes to Kirkby. Back for Bond. Kirkby again. Walks to the middle, lost it for a moment, and he gets it to Stubbs. Stubbs works back up high. Bond thought about the drive. Now he'll look, give over to Stubbs. He steps out. Bond, down low Thompson, one-touch pass all the way across. That missed everybody. And Lockhart able to take it away from Yates. Takes a few strides, and he sends it all the way down ice. Egbert was out to play it, let it go through. Bussell was charging hard. Bussell took the puck for a moment, but he couldn't make a pass to Scantleberry, who's right in the middle of the ice. A minute gone on the 4-minute double minor to Daniel Chartrand, as Nusiainen covers up this dump, and we will take a timeout. Still 2-1 in favor of the Black Bears here at McMorran Place.
See that? That's what 100% mozzarella looks like. What dough made daily looks like. What fresh ingredients and 8 irresistible flavored crusts on pizza cooked to perfection looks like. It's so much flavor, we don't even know if it's legal to have this much flavor. Now you can get that famous flavor for only $8.99. Wait, a large one-topping pizza for $8.99? That's a deal. It's a steal. No, it's a crime. Just $8.99 for a one-topping pizza full of our famous flavor. Now that's how we do a deal.
Hungry?
Howie's!
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Back here in Port Huron, 2:57 left on the Black Bears power play. Again, Daniel Chartrand in the box with 2 minor penalties. Prowlers 57 seconds away from killing off the first. Black Bears have gotten 1 shot through to Nusiainen on this man advantage. And that was the dump by Stubbs just before the TV timeout. Lots of passing around though. Face-off will be to Nusiainen's left. And Binghamton has Kyle Steffen's unit out there. He'll draw against Matt Graham. Tied up off the draw, Mott bounces it back to the point towards Anderson, who sent it right back down and around, only found Parsons, and Parsons finds a lane to get it down ice. Scantleberry, the first one on it in the corner, chased by Anderson. Scantleberry spins behind the net. 3 Black Bears all down deep trying to take it from him. Stone finally does, but Scantleberry wasted a little more time. He'll head off for a change. Meanwhile, Steffen works up the right wing side. Turns away, bounce off the boards, and then Anderson gave it right away to Federley, and he backhands it all the way down. Solid PK so far for the Prowlers, 15 seconds away from killing off the first of the 2 minor penalties. Mott over to Stone, into the net, deflected, they score! That's Mott in his first game back off the IR. Perfect pass from Stone, perfect deflection from Mott, and the Black Bears will still be on the power play for a full 2 minutes. 3 seconds were left in the first minor penalty to Chartrand when the Black Bears scored that goal. So they're now 2 for 4 on the power play, and this will be their 5th attempt of the game. I'll have to wait for them to reset the clock here to 2 minutes. Binghamton restores the 2-goal lead, and again, Mott coming off the IR. It's his 3rd goal of the season. Filling in a power play position, with the Black Bears having guys like Don Olivieri and Cam Clark out of the lineup. Stubbs drops it back to Yates. Weaves his way in. Yates all the way around the net. Slides it over to Thompson in the corner. Up high, Bond. Back towards Kirkby. Yates collects, goes back up to Bond. Just did keep that one alive. Linesman had a great view of it. It was right next to him. Bond over to Stubbs. Back to Bond. One-timer saved by Nusiainen. Stubbs moves it up the wall. Bond back down low to Yates. Stubbs a shot and he scores. Another power play goal for the Black Bears, and they open up a 4-1 lead. 3 for 5 on the man advantage tonight for Binghamton. And it's CJ Stubbs with his 4th goal of the year, 2nd on the man advantage. After he saw his 5-game point streak snapped on Tuesday, he's back on the score sheet. Frazee and Mott will take the face-off. Chartrand chops at Emery. Chartrand and Emery were talking before the face-off. Chartrand is getting a penalty. Daniel Chartrand was hoping to fight with Emerson Emery to get some life back in this building. And instead, the Prowlers will be shorthanded again. So after the Black Bears scored 2 goals in 51 seconds, they'll go right back to the man advantage. Their 6th of the game. And Tucker Scantleberry is now being escorted to the penalty boxes as he was on the bench. Austin Federley and Gavin Yates over there to hear what the word is from the referees. Binghamton has opened this one up thanks in large part to their power play. Dakota Bond and Tyson Kirkby each have a goal and an assist. Daniel Stone and Austin Thompson with 2 helpers apiece. And 2 minutes are up on the board for Tucker Scantlebury, so it looks like it will be a full 2-minute 5-on-3 for the Black Bears. Right now they have Scantlebury down as slashing. Not sure if that's correct because he was sitting on the bench. Three Prowlers heading out to defend, trailing by 3. And they'll have to do it for a full 2 minutes. Graham, Johnson, and Brockway. While the Black Bears keep with the Stubbs unit that just scored. Graham and Kirkby for this face-off. Comes to the wall. Yates steps out with it. Looking towards the net. Down to Kirkby. And up to Bond. Stubbs one-timer. And his stick went flying further than the puck. As it broke in half. He gets a new one off the bench. Yates plays it around to Kirkby. Bond walks down, gives to Thompson. Stubbs, Thompson. Those two-play catch. Thompson whipped it across, but he couldn't connect with Kirkby. Bond to the net. That one off a stick, changed direction. Johnson trying to clear. 3 Black Bears all over him, and they get the puck back. Johnson takes Kirkby in, gave it away to Graham. And Matt Graham able to saucer it all the way down on the backhand. It is indeed slashing against both Chartrand and Scantlebury. We're approaching the halfway point of those 2 penalties. As Yates gives it back to the top to Bond. Over to Stubbs, back to Bond. Stubbs walks down to Thompson, to the net, saved by Nusiainen, the rebound pushed wide by Yates. Bond over to Stubbs, back to Bond. He takes it and he scores. Second straight game with 2 goals for Dakota Bond. And the Binghamton power play making the Prowlers pay tonight. Still 37 seconds of 5-on-4 time here for the Black Bears. That's a 5 up there for Binghamton with under 6 to go, still here in the second. Here comes Stone. Giving it over to Steffen. When caught up in some traffic. Puck still bouncing around. Ends up on Mott's stick. Couldn't get it on net though as it was blocked. Stone walks the line. Gives to Anderson. Down to Remekers from the sharp angle. That didn't work. Mott slow to his skates, whipped across to Stone, holding on to it, and Nusiainen able to do enough to stop the puck. We're back to 5-on-5. Steffen's shot kicked out by Nusiainen, and now Parsons and Steffen getting after it. Mott involved as well, and Brockway has come over to grab Steffen. Brockway and Steffen tied up. They're separating a little bit from the pack. Brockway has tossed his gloves. Steffen has not done the same, still hanging on to his stick. Now Brockway throwing a couple of rights at Steffen. Now a couple of lefts. This is a full-on fight. Brockway pushing Steffen into the boards. They continue to throw wild punches, not really connecting on them. But Brockway did connect on a couple right at the beginning. And the energy back in this building for the first time in a little while. for Brockway as he heads off to the penalty box. Kyle Steffen has to take a seat as well. And we'll see if this gives the Prowlers a little bit of life. Something that they are desperately needing. I think we'll still be 5-on-5 as it's just Brockway and Steppen in the penalty boxes. And it looks like it will still be full strength on both sides. 5-1 hockey game. Black Bears have scored 4 times on the man advantage. They are 4 for 6 on the power play. They've connected on all of their man advantage opportunities in this period. Kirkby and Bussell get set for this face-off. And Bussell wins it over to Thelstrom. Alex Johnson up to Scantleberry, moves it on for DC. It's moved to the forehand, rising shot, knocked down by Egbert. We'll take a timeout. Black Bears have blown this one open with some help from their man advantage. Under 5 to play in period 2.
Explore the 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron. That is Michigan's Thumb Coast. Discover charming coastal towns, serene beaches, and endless outdoor adventures. Stay at cozy hotels, paddle through pristine blue waters, and hit the fairways along breathtaking views. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
.452 left to go in the Hungry Howie's second period. Black Bears with 3 power play goals in the frame to blow open a 5-1 lead. Prowlers holding on to 3rd place in the division by 1 point over the Danbury Hat-Tricks, who are also in action tonight. Trying to send a message to these Black Bears in their final 2 games against them and their only meetings at McMorran Place this regular season. Binghamton has sent the message to them about why they're the top team in the FPHL. This one slipping to the goal line, still loose and pulled out by Henry. As it rattled off a couple of bodies, ended up behind Egbert, but nobody available to put it home. Shertrand to Thelstrom as Graham and Kirkby are chatting away from the play. They collided away from the puck earlier on in this shift. Meanwhile, it's Johnson now, trying to turn up ice. Sends this one in deep. DC first on it. DC couldn't dangle to the net. It was poked off his stick by Weber. Back on it, try to wrap that Egbert able to get the paddle down on. DC touches this one in. Egbert stops it. Lost it. DC tried to tuck it, and he couldn't do it. A penalty is coming up against the Prowlers as Scantleberry dumped Weber behind the net. Scantleberry takes a swipe at Ramekers. And Tucker Scantleberry is being shown the door, it looks like. could be the end of his night, possibly. We'll see what the penalty is. Lockhart and Poirier having a conversation. Those two former teammates, Lockhart and Poirier, at Plymouth State. Each of them spending the last 4 years at Plymouth State. They were 3-time conference champions, all in college. And the fans not happy with the men in stripes tonight and letting their feelings be heard. About 3.5 to go here in period 2. Penalty box door is open for the Prowlers. Kirkby and Federley are over there. And Weber is now heading off. Not sure if that was a referee's decision or a medical decision. He seems to be holding his left arm a little gingerly. Prowlers trainer Bridget Smith heading off the ice as well. There are 5 minutes up on the home side for a penalty. And the Prowlers unraveling in this second period with penalties. And it continues. As Tucker Scantleberry has gotten himself thrown out of this game. We'll see if any supplementary discipline comes from it. Penalty has not come down yet on my penalty sheet. I'll let you know as soon as it does. 3.5 again to go here in period 2. And boarding, as I see it come down now, 5-minute major for boarding against Tucker Scantleberry. Isaiah Paris heads over to serve, and we're set to continue. And maybe not, as Kirkby has been ejected from the face-off. Thompson will come in to take it instead. Federley and Thompson. One back by Thompson, but pushed past Stubbs. Millette coming in to try and cause some havoc, but Stubbs was able to get it to Bond. Now it's Stubbs sending across for Kirkby. Trying to reverse back up the boards, but Stubbs wasn't there. And he needs to go back to the neutral zone. Parsons and Thompson battling for it. Thompson comes out in front, saved by Nusiainen on him. Bond just did keep it in, they say. Yates steps to the middle, fan on the shot. Parsons trying to poke it ahead. Millette had it knocked off his stick. Yates up for Stubbs at the Prowler blue line. His pass off of Millette's stick. It got to Kirkby. He's pushed out by Federley. Bond back in his own end. Minute gone in this Black Bears 5-minute man advantage. It's Yates trying to get around Chartrand. Yates into the offensive zone. Tried to drop off for Stone. That didn't work. Bond has to regroup back in the neutral zone. Stone now up to Henry. Stepping past him. Henry to Curlin drag shot. And Nusiainen able to make the save. Comes across to Henry. Anderson at the top. Fanned on it. Daniel Chartrand, short-handed breakaway. The backhand. And it just rolled off his stick. That's just been the Prowlers' luck at times tonight, offensively at least. They've had some golden opportunities that have just gone awry. Henry played it right off of Stiles, tried to bounce it ahead for Graham. He's closed off by Anderson, and now Anderson is getting an interference penalty that will take care of most of the rest of the Scantleberry major. 2:55 left on the Scantlebury Major. Anderson will sit for 2 of those minutes. 1:24 left here in period 2. Coming up in the Moses Roses Smoke Break second intermission report, we'll take a look at some happier times than we're at right now. Highlights from Tuesday's victory over the Motor City Rockers. Also the upcoming schedule for the Prowlers, out-of-town scores, and much more. So stick around here on the PHP Network when this first period concludes. Off the face-off, Bond, watched by DC, steps out. And Cervoni fires his way up the right wing side. Cervoni slips it for Thompson, wraparound try, and he scores. And the Black Bears don't need to do it on the power play this time. It's a 4-on-4 goal for Austin Thompson, who has his 14th of the year and makes it a 6-1 game. And the 6 goals for the Prowlers given up, already tied for the most they've given up in a game this season. And we still have a full third period to go. Bussell wins this face-off back, and Parsons moves it over to Thelstrom. Back to Bussell. Final minute of play here in period 2. Parsons over to Bussell, trying to work around Cervoni, centering feed, and Frazee couldn't grab it with the backhand. If he was right-handed, that would have been a golden opportunity for Joel Frazee. Thompson, the most recent goal scorer, retreats all the way back behind his own net as his team gets some fresh troops out there. Thompson in no hurry. Final 20 seconds ticking off this second period. Now Thompson finally forced out by Bussell. Thompson goes across to Poirier. Poirier will get the red line, dump it in, and that will do it for a rough second period for the Prowlers. They give up 4 goals, 3 of them on the power play, and they now trail by 5 heading into the third. Shots on goal in that period, favoring the Black Bears 12-11, and they're up on shots 28-22 in this game. And after scoring 4 goals, the most the Prowlers have given up in any period this season, Binghamton has a large lead heading into the locker room. Once again, coming up on the Moses Roses Smoke Break second intermission report, we'll look back at Tuesday's win over the Motor City Rockers. Maybe get the Prowlers fans who are tuning in a little bit happier than they might be feeling right now. We'll also take a look at the Prowlers' upcoming schedule, the out-of-town scores, and all the usuals coming your way as well. So keep it here on the PHP Network. But again, the Prowlers in a rough spot right now after building all kinds of momentum on New Year's Eve with a great win over their rivals, now getting blasted by the FPHL's top team. They'll be back at it tomorrow night, though, and secure your seats for that game. Tomorrow, January 4th, 7:05 puck drop. It is Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics night. The Prowlers will be wearing those specialty jerseys you see there on your screen right now, and you can bid on one of those specialty jerseys, but only if you're here in the building. So it'll be a live jersey auction following the game. You can get your tickets, pardon. You can get your tickets now at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or by scanning the QR code on your screen now. That's online at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or scan the QR code on your screen now to be a part of the Prowlers' 10th anniversary season. Port Huron in a large hole heading into the third, and we'll be right back for the second intermission report right here on the PHP Network.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Grab your friends and head to Bella Bola, a local pizza spot located in the heart of downtown Port Huron. Our menu is full of timeless favorites made fresh in our on-site pizza oven. Available for pickup or delivery. Just don't fight over the last slice.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it! I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com.
Back down low, DC and McGill Diaz tie up. DC comes out with it. Out high, Thelstrom looks for a shot. He scores! Ludwig Thelstrom with a quick rip from the point has tied it at 1. That one will die short of the icing line as we hit the final minute. Some chaos in the Prowlers and Rotundi overskated. Skittleberry scores! Ryan Rotundi, 2 feet in front of his own crease, left the puck behind, and Tucker Skittleberry cashes in to make it 2-1 Prowlers. For this face-off, Rockers with most of a power play, but Joel Frazie's going to be able to kill some time on this Rockers man advantage, and he scores! What a shot! Joel Frazee, short-handed, has given the Prowlers a 2-goal lead. He popped it out to the middle of the ice, slipped past Thelstrom. McGill Diaz on the back door, saved by Wells. on Wells by Nusiainen as he got his pad down, and now it all breaks loose behind the net. Tried to back pass it to Millette. That was taken away. Here comes Nick McGill-Diaz. He shoots. Saved by Nusiainen. Up high goes to Lockhart. Now Millette. Back to Lockhart. Scantleberry unloads. He scores! Second of the game for Tucker Scantleberry. This one's a power play marker, and the Prowlers restore the 2-goal lead. There's Delaney to the net. That one popped back out in front, and Nusiainen able to kick it away from Rivers. Scoring here tonight, short-handed. Parsons played that one off the backboard. Sims scoops it up, turns it on goal. Saved by Gonzalez. Rebound, they score! And right on cue, it's Frazee with his second. To Millette. Head up, floats it to Lockhart, works in, across the Chartrand, he scores! Tic-tac-toe on the Prowlers power play, and Daniel Chartrand finishes it off. Bounced up high, McGill-Diaz walks the blue line. Milam a drive and a kick save and a beauty from Valtteri Nusiainen for these games. As DC starts to work his way up on the right wing side, center Bussell scores! The extra point is good for the Prowlers. Jamie Bussell has made it 7-3. And right off the face-off, Paris is jumped by Wells, and now Paris and Smith have dropped the mitts. Paris throwing right hands at Avery Smith. Paris with some angry right. Smith comes back with a right of his own. Paris has Smith's jersey over his head. Now he's back. Smith has no helmet. They continue to wrestle around. Paris has lost his helmet. Smith almost lost his balance, but he stays up. Now Smith's jersey over his head. Paris swinging away. This is a long fight. Great stamina from the two big men, and Paris with a good punch. And now they'll get in to separate them. And now arms up in the air. Chartrand and Rotundi down at center ice, and their gloves are down. Rotundi throwing some quick rights. Chartrand's trying to grab at his helmet. Rotundi has Chartrand's jersey up on his face. Penalties were coming up against these two, and that was the reason for the whistle. And then they decided to go. Now Chartrand getting his second win. A few good leaps, and down goes Rotundi.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Well, welcome back here at McMorrin Place. And the Prowlers in a deep hole, trailing 6-1 right now. And before we start talking about what went wrong there in that middle period, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Prowlers. Take a peek into the future, because the present certainly is not looking too good right now. They'll face off against the Black Bears again tomorrow night, a chance for revenge, wipe the slate clean, and have a 0-0 game again. That again is Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics night, a great charity that the Prowlers work with every single year. And they are New Year's Eve themed jerseys, or New Year's themed jerseys this season, and they look great. If you were here at the end of the second period, you saw them. And you can bid on those jerseys if you're here at McMorrin Place. You get your tickets at phprowlers.com/tickets. And the next weekend, Prowlers make their first trip to Danville, Illinois. Since the original Dashers were in the league back in 2019-20. And Port Huron will play 2 against the now Dashers Hockey Club of Danville, Illinois. Both of those 8:05 p.m. starts, so stay up with us a little bit later here on the PHP Network, and we'll have both of those for you from David S. Palmer Arena. And after the Prowlers face the Black Bears, they have a pretty weak strength of schedule as they go Dashers, Seawolves, Rockers, and then Dashers again at the end of the month. And those 2 games at the end of the month on January. Yes, we're in January now, folks. January 31st and February 1st, those are the neutral site games in Topeka, Kansas. The ones next week are in Danville. Of course, we'll have those for you on the PHP Network as well, but a chance for the Prowlers to go on a bit of a run. They can take care of some weak competition after getting past the Black Bears, and maybe they can at least earn a split tomorrow night or somehow make a miraculous comeback here tonight. Now let's go around the league with our out-of-town scoreboard. And it's a barn burner in Danbury, 5-4. The Hat-Tricks have the lead. They play late in the second. Dustin Jasso has 2 goals and an assist for the Venom, while Josh LaBelle and Alexander Vasilyev, along with Chase Harwell, all with 3-point nights for the Hat-Tricks. LaBelle 1 goal, 2 assists. Vasilyev 2 and 1, and Harwell 3 helpers. It's goals in bunches in Danbury, and the Hat-Tricks with the lead. And if Danbury wins and the Prowlers lose, then the Hat-Tricks will take back control of 3rd place in the Empire Division. And by the way, 7 of the 9 goals in that game came in period number 1. The Thunderbirds with a 3-goal lead on the Motor City Rockers. It's 5-2 late in the second. And in Winston-Salem, Peter Panacek has 2 for the Birds. They did change one of Nate Keeley's to Jan Salak. Marquis Grant Mentis has scored for the Motor City Rockers in his Rockers debut. And it is the Birds in control there. Again, late stages, second period. Prowlers' next opponent, the Dashers, trailing the Monroe Moccasins 2-0 through 20 minutes. Shayev many guns and Scott Kowash, the goal scorers for Monroe in that opening 20. In the third period in Athens, and the Lobsters have a 3-1 lead on Columbus, as Brandon Picard scored in the middle frame. So did Cody Wickline for the Dragons. Yeah, 3-1 game there. In the battle between Seawolves and Landwolves, it is Mississippi with a 2-0 lead. Curtis Hansen and the newest Seawolf, Ricard Jelenskis, who was signed today after the release of Seawolves captain Justin Barr, which caused certainly a stir on social media. Jelenskis has a goal, both of the Seawolves goals have come on the man advantage. And again, they have a 2-0 lead, playing now in the second period. Blue Ridge Bobcats up 3-1 in Baton Rouge through 20 minutes of play. Former Black Bear Nick Stuckless has a goal. Another former Black Bear, Andrew Uturo, also has a goal for the Bobcats. Jacob Wolf, the other for Blue Ridge. Matthew Gordon, the one tally for the Baton Rouge Zydeco. And that one 3-1 at the first intermission in Baton Rouge. Of course, here it is 6-1 in favor of the Binghamton Black Bears. We have a few minutes to just chat about this period before we get to period number 3. And before we show you the stats, I promise you I'm not hiding the stats from you. I will show you them in just a few moments, but just to talk through it a little bit before we get there, the Prowlers have been, one, undisciplined. They have been shorthanded 6 times in this hockey game, gone to the box a couple other times on coincidentals, and of course you had the fight for Ben Brockway. They're on their 6th PK of the game right now, or they will be in 34 seconds once Anderson steps back out of the box and the rest of Tucker Scantleberry's major can tick off. Prowlers have had 1 power play this entire hockey game, so that's a tough way to win if you're taking all of those penalties and giving a team like the Black Bears all of those opportunities on the man advantage, and they have made you pay. So you take a look at the jarring power play stats right now for Binghamton. 4 for 6 is how I have them tallied on the man advantage so far. I just want to make sure, hopefully I have all of them incorrectly. Looks like 4 for 6 for now, and actually the Black Bears are on their 7th power play of the game. As I look back and again try and make sure I have it tallied right, the Prowlers have spent lots of time in the penalty box. And Scantleberry's 5-minute major, the latest trip there. And you see the discrepancy in penalty time. Fans here have voiced their displeasure towards the referees, but at the end of the day, the Prowlers have been the less disciplined team, and they have paid for it. And their PK certainly is going to need some work ahead of tomorrow's game, because this Black Bears power play is very, very talented, and they've shown how they can put the puck in the back of the net. As already in this game, you have Dakota Bond with his 2nd straight game of 2 goals and 2 assists. Tyson Kirkby and Austin Thompson have 3-point nights. CJ Stubbs has a goal and an assist. Daniel Stone, a couple of helpers. And it is all Black Bears right now. And they get set to step back out onto the ice for period number 3. And we'll see if the Prowlers can get themselves a little bit of fight and maybe get just a little bit closer, make the goal differential a little bit less before this one ends. But they have been on the wrong side of it all night long. Let's take a trip down memory lane back to Tuesday, a much better night for the Port Huron Prowlers. They scored a season-high 7 goals in that one. We want to know what the Prowlers' all-time franchise record is for goals in a game. And might you be shocked to find out that came during the dominant 2017-18 regular season for the Prowlers against the weak North Shore Knights. It was on the road at North Shore, February 4th, 2018. Prowlers put up 12 that night. They have just one on the scoreboard right now, and they have given up half a dozen to the Binghamton Black Bears. Now, the Black Bears responsible for, and I highly doubt we're going to get to this point. We'll have to bring this back up. Black Bears are responsible for the most goals against that the Prowlers have given up in a game in franchise history. January 6th, 2023 in Binghamton, a 13-2 loss. That's also the largest margin of defeat in Prowlers franchise history. And Port Huron can't even give Valtteri Nusiainen a break tonight and relieve him after a tough first 2 periods because they have Trevor Roy, the emergency backup goaltender, in right now. Backing up tonight, Yoshihiro Kurtiola still on IR, and Reed Cooper has been put inactive earlier today. Nusiainen in the goal crease to our right. He's made 22 saves on 28 Black Bears shots. Nolan Egbert in the goal crease to our left, 20 saves on 22 Prowlers shots. Again, 4-on-4 to start period number 3 for the next 30 seconds, and then the Black Bears will finish up their 5-minute man advantage. As Isaiah Paris serves for Tucker Scantleberry, whose night is over. Remekers will chip it past Johnson, but Thelstrom collects it on the other side. DC across to Johnson with plenty of skating room up the left wing. Johnson a quick shot, the crossbar, and that one flies into the seats. Now 4 seconds until the Black Bears go to the man advantage. And Alex Johnson with a good shot there, beat Egbert, could not beat the iron. And again, as bad as the Prowlers' penalty kill has been, look offensively, they've gotten their opportunities and just not quite the finish they've been looking for at times. Faceoff comes to the boards. Anderson set to step out of the box, and it's a Binghamton man advantage for the next 50 seconds. Stubbs on the right wing side. Yates gives it back. Pushed around to the far side, Thompson. Walks the blue line, but lost the handle as he had Lockhart right on him. Stubbs gets back into the Prowler zone as his team touched up. Yates angles in, poked away by Lockhart, and Kenny Stiles rims it back around to the far side. Lockhart trying to win the race there, couldn't get it out, and Sim could. Final 13 seconds ticking off this Black Bears power play. Yates poked away by Lockhart and got through Stubbs on the half wall. So the Black Bears don't strike during the 5-minute man advantage, although the Prowlers certainly a little bit lucky that Jesse Anderson's penalty took a 2-minute chunk out of it. Vaughn dances his way in. He has 2 goals tonight. Took a hard check from Matt Graham. Henry roped out by Brian Parsons. Thelstrom's pass eluded Paris, but Egbert covered it up as it came down on goal. Paris was hustling in with hard strides right towards Egbert, and Chris Mott ended up slipping and sliding into his own goaltender. And yes, that is considered a shot on goal. Had the stats a little bit for Nolan Egbert, who came into tonight with an .884 save percentage, but a 7-2 record. You will not see that very often. Quick shot by Millette off the draw, but they blew it dead. And maybe a false drop, or an unfair drop, they say. Frazee will be asked to leave the face-off circle. Both teams just made a quick change. Emerson Emery sent back to the face-off. Actually, they'll make Yates go back. Doesn't matter the score, still have to enforce the rules. I don't think they were allowed to change on that, or maybe they tried to get a late change in. Either way, Austin Federley will come in to take the face-off for Frazee. Henry wins it away from him, and Anderson tosses it around to the near side. Cervoni up to Mott. Rink wide dump. Felstrom gets there ahead of Henry. Sends it up the boards. Nobody home there for the Prowlers. Shot was blocked, popped up in the air. Cervoni gloved it down and sent it deep. Felstrom up to Millette. Bounce off the boards. Sends Frazee out with it. Has Federley with him. Frazee with a shot that's blocked by Cervoni. Felstrom steps to it. Finds Reggie Millette. Curl and drag, and he scores! Reggie Millette. That's the Prowlers back within 4. That one slipped 5-hole on Nolan Egbert, and Millette continues his hot streak. Points in his last 7 games. He has his 6th goal of the year. And a little bit of life in this building, a little bit of fight from the home side. 2:40 gone in period 3. As Stone works his way up. Cross corner dump, Lockhart. And now Bussell. Bussell trying to move up with speed. Poked off his stick by Bond. Delayed offsides against the Prowlers. They touch up. DC looks to turn his way right back in. Harassed from behind though. Bond goes D to D to Stone. This top pairing for the Binghamton Black Bears. Very big and a great pairing. One of the best in the FPHL. Poirier skates his way up. Knocked down by Parsons in the Prowlers zone. Sent back over to the far side. Lockhart and Felstrom picking up the assists on the goal by Millette. Lockhart with his 2nd point of the game. Here's Stiles with a curl and drag shot, knocked down by Egbert. Stiles up top. Johnson walks, feeds over to Brockway. Head up, and he goes down and around. Stiles waiting for it on the near side. Sends it back deep. Shirtran curling in front to Graham. And Egbert seals off the post. Graham hustling after it. Down to Shirtran. Bounces it up high. Johnson floats it deep on the backhand. And Egbert reaches up high to glove it down for a whistle and a face-off. .38 left to go in period 3. Prowlers with the first 5 shots of period 3. They got off to a hot start in the 2nd, but then the penalties started piling up, and that's when the Black Bears were able to pounce. See if they can keep up the momentum and at least win this 3rd period, go into the locker room and into the night feeling a little bit better about themselves. Of course, they do get a rematch with the Black Bears tomorrow, and that's the beauty of the FPHL. So many of these games are back-to-backs against the same team, 2-game series, sometimes 3. So even if you have a rough first night, or if there's still unfinished business, you have an opportunity the following evening to take care of it. Frazee bounces it off the boards and back in. Bond retreats behind his own net and gives off to Stone. Henry lost it to Bussell, who came flying up off the bench. Now Henry knocked down by Parsons in the neutral zone as the puck was floated their direction. Parsons on for Bussell. Catches back up to it. Outside try, slipped it just wide. Karams all the way to Thompson, and now Remekers gets it. Poked away from him though. They tie up in the corner. To his side scrum. Pushed up the wall. Batted on goal and gloved down by Valtteri Nusiainen. Well, Reggie Millette has the only goal this 3rd period so far, and the Prowlers within 4. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the PHP Network.
At Hungry Howie's, we have a flavor philosophy. It's that you deserve to mix and match the most delicious flavor you've ever had with even more of the most delicious flavor you've ever had. But how can you mix and match the most delicious flavor twice at the same time? Well, we're not in the business of logic. We're in the business of blowing your flavor-loving mind with flavor upon flavor. Philosophize on that. Get any 2 items on the mix and match menu, including the 2-topping flatbread pizza for $6.99 each.
Hungry?
Howie's!
Back here in Port Huron, 14-15 left to go in the Schultz family McDonald's third period. Prowlers were the only goal of this frame. They still trail by 4. And it's slid up to Stiles. Bounces it in, heads after it. Shortran and Cervoni came together. And Anderson bounces it to Ramakers, and he dumps it deep. Nusiainen out to play it. Rims it back up this side, along the glass. Shortran slips it up to the neutral zone to Johnson jumping into the play. Bumps it back down. Johnson centering feed, and it bounces in! Not sure if that hit Bond or a Prowler driving the net. Alex Johnson threw it to the right area. And the Prowlers have made a 3-goal game. And it looks like it will be Matt Graham's goal. And don't look now. Port Huron is right back in it. Graham has his 6th of the year. If they do indeed award it to him, it looks like it should be his goal. As Johnson just put the puck back into a scoring area, and it caromed right in. A funny hop past Egbert. Egbert ended up inside his goal. And might they be talking about this right now? Referee over in the scorer's table. They're going to put on the headset and check out the overhead cameras. Their possible goaltender interference thing that they can take a look at. I'm sure the Black Bears are instinctively looking up at the scoreboard hanging above center ice right now. Thinking that there is a screen up there, there is not. There is one at Visions Veterans Memorial Arena in Binghamton. We still have the old school scoreboard here in Port Huron. Only time, score, and penalties. That's all you need. Referees have left the penalty boxes and now talking to Jesse Anderson and Austin Federley. Meanwhile, on the Prowlers bench, Chris Paulin drawing something up for his group. And it doesn't look like any appeal will be successful for the Black Bears. Both teams still collected at their respective benches. Not sure what Brad Sherwood is looking at. Brad Sherwood yelling at one of the referees. Sherwood still with some words. And now both referees are heading back over to the scorer's table. So why not continue to delay? Right now it's 6-3 Black Bears. Shots on goal in this period. 6-1 now for the Prowlers. 29-28 Black Bears for the game. And the referee back into the scorer's table to take a look at the tablet. And Brett Sherwood may have convinced the referees to go back and take another look. And maybe not. Kirkby still having an animated conversation with a referee and Austin Federley. Again, the referee's not wearing the same numbers on their backs as they're listed on the website. So I don't know which referee is who. Sherwood has both arms up in the air on the Black Bears bench. His team's still up by 3. And finally, we drop the puck and the Prowlers' goal is official. And we'll give you the official scoring when we get it. That puck took a funny hop off the boards. Frazee works out with it, poked off his stick by Bond. Rink wide feed behind Henry. Federley sends it right in on Egbert. As it's Graham from Johnson on that goal. Federley shot it just wide. 2 quick ones for the Prowlers, and all of a sudden, they're threatening in this game. Stone off the boards. That one ends up out of play. But it did go off the boards or glass on its way out, so no delay of game penalty here. Faceoff will be deep in the Bears' end. And the draw will be to Egbert's left between Graham and Kirkby. Graham wins it back. Hellstrom walks, feeds it down low, looking for a deflection. Johnson swung and missed at the line. Thompson couldn't handle it as that puck was on edge for a moment. Johnson dangling in front of his own net, chased by Ramakers. Finally, he's able to get it up to Matt Graham. Gives it right back. Alex Johnson on his backhand, tried a centering feed that he handed right to Tyson Kirkby. Hellstrom up towards Graham, tries to turn up ice. He finds Stiles. Tossed around. Cervoni keeps it moving. Shark Train cuts it off. Deflected on. And a kick save by Egbert. Kept in by Stiles, only momentarily though. Cervoni's pass. Lockhart stepped up on that. And Anderson forced back deep. Anderson tosses it out. Gloved down by Lockhart. At the red line, Lockhart up to DC. Lockhart going to the net. DC gives it to him, and he slipped it right in front. Nobody home, though, for the Prowlers. Stubbs the other way. Had his pass taken away. Chartrand floats it all the way across. Here comes Bussell with speed. His shot just couldn't find the target, and it goes out of play over the glass. We've played just over 8 minutes here in period 3. And the Prowlers within 3 and threatening. Port Huron getting a late change in as Frazee will slide in to draw against Steffen. And now Frazee will be told he's not allowed to take this face off. Austin Federley will take it instead. Actually, it will be Reggie Millette. Let's see if we can drop the puck here. One back by Steffen. Bond shakes loose and gets it up to Yates. Cross corner dump, Stubbs. First one on it, bounced past him though. Stubbs back with the puck, trying to cycle for Yates. Johnson up to Federley. Backhand off the boards. Bond up towards Yates, touches through, And Johnson recollects for Port Huron. Parsons gets the red line, gets it deep. Brian Parsons hustling after it himself. Stone got there on the puck first, but Parsons took it from him. Yates took it from Parsons in turn, though. Here's Mott over towards Stubbs, out of his reach. Push back around to the far side. Millette skates into it. Couldn't get a pass through Yates. Thelstrom goes D to Brockway as the Prowlers complete a forward change. Brockway lost it. He took down Henry. Penalty coming up as the shot knocked down by Nusiainen. And he'll hang on for a whistle and a face-off, and yet another Black Bears power play. And by my count, this will be their 9th of the game, I want to say. 8th of the game, maybe? Again, on the website, everything goes down as a power play, so it's tough to figure out what is and what wasn't actually a power play. I have to keep actually keep it myself here. We have a TV timeout here. Well, one team decided to call timeout. I didn't see which side it was. Maybe it was Binghamton trying to set up a play for its 7th goal of the night. Or maybe it's just Brett Sherwood trying to settle his team down, as they've been largely dominated here in this 3rd period, at least so far. I keep coming up with different numbers as I try to count, so if somebody could please go back and count all of the power plays that the Black Bears have had in this game, it would be much appreciated. I'm going with 9 as my final answer. 9th power play of the game for the Black Bears. They have scored 4 times on the man advantage. Stubbs, no look pass to Kirkby, backdoor feed, kick save by Nusiainen, got the rebound as well. As Thompson fanned a little bit on the one-timer on the backside, and that gave Nusiainen the ability to give himself a chance, and he made the save and then had to make another one. 30 seconds going on this Black Bears power play as Stubbs works back in. Kirkby with a back pass that comes all the way to the blue line to Bond. Saucered for Stubbs. Yates back up top to Bond. Watched by Federley, down to Yates. He works his way up high, across to Stubbs. Now Bond, the one-timer, was a little bit off balance, so that one went too high off the glass. And Stubbs recollects for Bond. Back to Stubbs again. Off the back wall, loose puck, Thelstrom and Kirkby tie up. Thompson and Johnson in there as well. Kirkby trying to fight through Thelstrom. And Kirkby has it, sent it towards the net. Came right to Thompson, pinballed around. And Nusiainen able to hang on. Somebody was knocked into the net. Not sure if it was Prowler or Black Bears. It happened behind Nusiainen. It was Black Bear, Austin Thompson, getting back to his skates. We'll take a timeout, 43 seconds left on a Black Bears power play as they're up by 3.
EDA, providing local business support for over 70 years. And helping to boost our region's workforce, retain and attract talent. Working to grow the local economy and the flow of money into our community to help businesses be profitable and successful. Focused on improving the region's economic strength and quality of life for residents. To learn more about the EDA of St. Clair County, visit edascc.com.
Explore 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron in Michigan's Thumb Coast. Begin your adventure on a blanket of golden sand at one of our serene beaches. Connect with the historic atmosphere of our region's nautical influence. and reconnect with friends under a blanket of stars. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
.43 seconds to go on the Binghamton Black Bears' 9th man advantage of the hockey game. 9:16 left to go in the Scholes family McDonald's third period that all of a sudden had a very different look after the Prowlers scored 2 early goals. Reggie Millette and Matt Graham. Old Port Huron within 3. Prowlers had 8 of the first 9 shots of this final frame of regulation before they took a penalty and put the Black Bears back on the man advantage, where they've been so good tonight. Yates lost the handle, Bond recollects it, and now Kirkby across, Stubbs walks, fires, and I don't think that one got all the way through to Nusiainen. Kirkby to the top to Bond. Stubbs unloads the one-timer. Didn't get much on it. Parsons looking ahead towards Chartrand. Got past him and Bond. Kirkby looks to work back up in the final seconds of this Black Bears power play. Yates turning away from Fellstrom. Millette stopped it along the boards. Forces it back up that side. Right where Brockway was stepping out of the penalty box. Stone's pass rides off of Millette's stick and up into the seats, out of play. 8:23 left to go in regulation. Prowlers trailing by 3. Faceoff will be at center ice. They did kill off that penalty. Freezy wins this faceoff away from Steffen. Federley bounces it up to Freezy, but he overskated the puck, may have got caught up in the linesman. Either way, Black Bears regrouping and looking to take their way up ice. Here's Stone wrapping it in. Got through Steffen though, and back to the Binghamton end it goes. Touched in by Mott at the red line, but I think it hit somebody on the Prowlers bench. So they'll whistle it down for another face-off. Another one back at center ice. Prowlers make a late change here. So they get Matt Graham, Daniel Chartrand, and Kenny Stiles. Lines in a little bit of a blender for Port Huron. So they blow it dead. Prowlers were not completely done with their change when they dropped the puck. And they kicked Matt Graham out of the face-off because of it. And now they'll kick Kenny Stiles out, and Daniel Chartrand will take it. Graham works into the offensive zone, slid towards Stiles. That one changed direction, ended up on net. Ramakers made a pass out. Johnson just able to hold the line. So Stone goes up to Ramakers, and it gets to the Prowlers' end. Johnson pulls up over to Chartrand. Looking on for Kenny Stiles. That didn't work. So Johnson retreats back to his own zone. Quick up looking towards Stiles. He was tied up with Bond. Fellstrom skates into the loose puck. Tosses it in, but over the glass, out of play. We'll get a little bit of choppiness here. Whistles aplenty here in these last couple of minutes. Hopefully they don't run out of pucks down there. Prowlers get this dump in. That was DC who sent it deep. Bond tosses it right back out. Lockhart gloves it down and puts it right back around. Cervoni up towards Henry. Now for Emery. Looking for Henry again. Emery pulls it off the wall. Cervoni back deep. Emery and Brockway were battling. Meanwhile, it's Henry on the puck. Black Bears getting fresh defensemen on the ice. It's cycled down to Emery. And Brockway continue battling. Brockway knocks down Emery. And it's DC setting it off the backboards, trying to head in after it. Ran into a couple of Black Bears, mainly Anderson. Kirkby just puts it softly behind the Prowlers' net. And he takes it away from Johnson. And a dangerous chance in front that Henry was able to get. Here's Federley dropping for DC. Tried to feed across, but couldn't find neither Bussell or Johnson. Here's Bussell, 1-on-3. On his backhand, played off the side of the cage. Anderson for Poirier. He hangs out behind his own net. The Black Bears have quelled the Prowlers' momentum after that power play. Port Huron got a couple of early goals in this third. Maybe had a few thoughts of a comeback after they did. But then Binghamton went to the man advantage, and that's kind of settled this period down for them. Millette slips through a couple of Black Bears. I think he's drawn a penalty as he was heading after the loose puck. Possible interference call coming up. Felstrom walking the line, sends it on. That one deflected and held on to by Nolan Egbert. Actually, it's a holding penalty. Well, the Prowlers' second man advantage of the night comes with CJ Stubbs in the penalty box. They're 0 for 1 on the power play tonight. I'll send out Joel Frazie's unit. Be Frazie, DC, Millette, Lockhart, and Daniel Chartrand taking Scantleberry's spot. And Frazie had his pants untied, I guess. He had to get those strings back tied up, and now he's ready to go. And tie it up at the dot. Chartrand backing up towards the boards to find it. It's taken by Thompson and tossed out. Lockhart moves his way up, right down Main Street. Here comes Lockhart still with it, and it's poked off his stick by the last Black Bear back, Dan Stone. Chartrand all the way back behind his own net. Up to Federley. Gets in. Federley gets himself some space. Gives it off to Millette. Try to go back to Federley, but there was a Black Bear right on him that disrupted that pass. Federley back in his own end. Prowlers finishing up the change. Halfway through this power play. Johnson up to Sim. Pushes it in, heads after it. Couldn't chop it on goal as Anderson beat him to the puck. Chartrand bounced up high to Johnson. Now Federley walks, tried to give it back to Bussell, just did keep it in at the line. Loose puck, Graham couldn't give it across, and it's cleared down once again. 32 seconds left in this Prowlers power play. Have not gotten a shot on it. Bussell hands off for Lockhart, then heads off for a change. Prowlers continuing to waste some time on their man advantage. Now they work up ice. Frazie hustling after it in the offensive zone, spinning in the corner on Ramakers. Graham had it poked off his stick. Frazie bounced it up to Millette, walks the line, back to Frazie, takes the shot, hit Graham up high, pushed back towards the net, and just wide, as Egbert had no idea where it was, and it got pushed right through the crease and out the other side. The light even came on behind Nolan Egbert. It stays a 6-3 game. 3 players on each side digging for that puck in the corner. It's finally DC who pulls it out. He couldn't get it deep. Delstrom had his pass taken away. Thompson kicks it up towards Stubbs. Yates into the Prowlers zone. Bussell turns the corner and starts his way up ice. Here's Bussell slipping past the check. He lost the puck, and it's sent in by Yates. Final 2 minutes to go in this one. Johnson works out with it. Up for Stiles. Touch to the near side. Bussell skates into it. Couldn't get the shot away. Puck loose in the slot. Delstrom a shot. And that one held onto by Nolan Egbert. We'll take our final timeout here on the PHP Network. Prowlers still trailing by 3.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
Can I please get a big...
What I need from you is a chicken Big Mac.
A chicken Big Mac? That's not a Big Mac.
Actually, it is.
It's not
a Big Mac.
Chicken Big Mac?
Chicken bag, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, and pickles on a sesame seed bun. Enjoy.
The chicken Big Mac.
It's not a Big Mac.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We invite you to tune into our next broadcast tomorrow when the Prowlers take on the Binghamton Black Bears again. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Pregame show starts at 6:50. It's all right here on the PHP Network. And get used to seeing that logo with the sunglasses. That's the specialty logo for the New Year's themed jerseys. The law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics night here at McMorran Place. So if you can be here in the building, certainly come out, all for a good cause. Prowlers have pulled Valtteri Nusiainen trailing by 3 with under 2 to go. Frazee batted that one out of the air, way above his shoulders. But the Black Bears next to touch it. Frazee with a nice block as Steffen tried to score on the empty net from center. Johnson up for Graham, tips it in. Kirkby plays it right off the boards. And it's sent out. And out of play. Black Bears trying to say that that one was deflected. Prowlers say that it's delay of game. 1:21 left to go. And it looks like the Prowlers are going to win this one as Jesse Anderson gets sent to the penalty box. Third man advantage of the game for Port Huron, a 6-on-4. But again, Nusiainen on the bench. And now Port Huron has taken its time out. They had Federley, Millette, Bussell, Graham, Johnson, and Frazee lined up. And now Chris Paulin drawing up a play on his whiteboard. It was just a 2-1 game through 20 minutes. But the big story in this one, the Black Bears power play in the second period. Scored 3 times in the middle frame, 4 times overall tonight, as the Prowlers took penalty after penalty and gave up power play goal after power play goal to let Binghamton blow this one open. Port Huron did score 2 early ones here in the third to give themselves some hope, and then took another penalty that ended up taking some of the energy out of the building and some of the energy out of their team. Haven't had too many great opportunities since that point. And now still trailing by 3 with 1:21 left to go. But they're putting all their cards on the table with Nusiainen on the bench, a 6-on-4 attack. Kirkby and Graham in on this face-off. Graham wins it back. Federley knocks it down. Goes down low towards Millette. Bond spinning in the corner with it. Ends up on the near side. Johnson comes down the wall for it. Bussell up towards Johnson. Now to Frazee. Across to Federley. looking for a shooting lane. Gives it to Johnson. He'll take the shot. It's blocked. That was Stone that got out to get in the shooting lane. And Johnson forced out of the zone by Kirkby in the final minute. Millette weaves his way in the neutral zone. Gets into the offensive end. Millette gets around Kirkby. Takes the shot. Stopped by Egbert. Here's Thompson with it to the empty net. And he's got it. A shorthanded goal for Austin Thompson, his second goal of the game. And the extra point is good for Binghamton. Prowlers will fall tonight. And ironically, 7-3, the final score of their victory over the Motor City Rockers to end 2024. And they open 2025 with what looks like it will be a 7-3 loss. Harris, shouldered, and he moves it down to Chartrand. Finding the net in front, looking for Paris. That didn't work. Off the glass all the way down. Nusiainen will play it. If you looked at this one at even strength, Prowlers win 3-2. But special teams are important, as you learn every so often. And the special teams are what get the Black Bears the victory tonight, 7-3. 4 power play goals, and then the shorthanded goal into the empty net. Binghamton dominates tonight. And the Prowlers will fall to 10, 12, and 3, 32 points. And we'll see later when we check our out-of-town scoreboard if Port Huron is still able to maintain possession of third place in the Empire Division. Nolan Egbert ended up picking up an assist on that goal by Austin Thompson. And for Egbert, his first point of the season. Black Bears moved to 21, 3-1, 60 points now. They're the only team to 50. Now the first team to 60 in the FPHL. They've won their last 8 games and 11 of their last 12. The only loss in those 12 came to the Port Huron Prowlers in Binghamton, but not tonight, as the Prowlers fall 7-3. Before we get to our post-game show, one last reminder to check in to our game tomorrow night. 7:05 puck drop here at McMorran Place and a 6:50 pregame. And we will have it for you here on the PHP Network. But for now, stick around for the post-game show here on the PHP Network.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should have just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it! I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com.
Back here at McMorran Place, 7-3 your final in favor of the Binghamton Black Bears. Time now to go back through this one, goal by goal. And it started in the first. Dakota Bond with a seeing eye wrister through traffic. A power play goal for him. And you talk about a theme in this game, power play goal for the Black Bears. Made it 1-0. And then just about 3 minutes later, Tyson Kirkby fought off some checks and was able to slip one along the ice 5-hole on Valtteri Nusiainen to make it 2-0 at that point. But late in the period, Brett Lockhart, with a couple of moving screens in front of Nolan Egbert, floated a shot through, and it found the back of the net to cut the Black Bears' lead in half. The troubles began for the Prowlers late in period 2. Port Huron had a strong start to the second, but then as the period continued on, Prowlers got into penalty trouble. Chris Mott scored a power play goal. CJ Stubbs scored a power play goal. Dakota Bond scored a power play goal. And all of those coming in under 3 minutes of game action. And really that's what put the Prowlers in the hole that they couldn't dig themselves out of. Austin Thompson also scored in that second period. A 4-on-4 goal on the wraparound with 1:10 left to go. But the Prowlers fought back in the third period. They certainly could have easily packed it in and coasted for the final 20 minutes and waited until tomorrow. But they certainly outplayed the Black Bears for the first half of that third period, as Matt Graham and Reggie Millette, it was first Millette with a shot that went 5-hole on Egbert, and then Graham going to the dirty areas, had a centering feed bounce off of him and past Egbert. Made 6-3, just over 6 minutes into the third. And maybe some thoughts of a comeback snuck into the minds of the Prowlers fans here in attendance, but it was not to be. Austin Thompson hit the empty net. That's a shorthanded goal for Thompson. Third star of the game tonight, CJ Stubbs with a goal and an assist. Tyson Kirkby, the second star, with a goal and 2 helpers. And Austin Thompson, the first star, he had 2 goals and 2 assists. Dakota Bond had 2 goals and 2 assists. Second straight game for the Black Bears with 2 players with 4 points. Last time on Tuesday, it was Bond and Kirkby. So we take a final look at the stats from this game. And again, the power play, the big difference maker tonight. And if you take away those power play goals, it is a 3-2 Prowlers, or it's a 3-3 game, but of course, Black Bears hit the empty net short-handed. So if you just count even strength goals, that's a 3-2 Prowlers win. They won even strength. The problem is they took penalties and they could not kill them off. And you see the discrepancy on the penalty minute totals, but again, the shots were close. Prowlers had some great shifts 5-on-5, but the penalties killed them tonight against the FPHL's top team. Oh, when we come back, we'll take one last look at the out-of-town scoreboard, tell you where you should be turning your attention next once we get off the air, and then we will sign off and take you into tomorrow. So stick around real quick here on the PHP Network.
Hi, welcome.
I'm just checking in, and I have a service animal.
Service animal?
Do you have anything on the ground floor so I can let him out at night?
We're on a mission to feed the future by helping farmers worldwide be more resilient, more productive, more sustainable for generations to come. Corteva Agriscience. Keep growing.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
Will Wiggleman back one final time to make more in place. Your final score tonight, the Black Bears 7 and the Prowlers 3. Let's take one last look around the FPHL. Full slate of games tonight, and we start with a good one in Danbury as a 6-5 game coming down to it in the third. Not quite such a good game for the Motor City Rockers. Tough night for the Michigan teams as they get blown out by the Carolina Thunderbirds 7-2. Peter Panacek with 2 goals and an assist. Jan Salak, a goal and 2 helpers as the Thunderbirds roll in that one. Dashers down big heading into the third against the Monroe Moccasins. 5-1 the score right now. Shayev Manyguns has 2 goals for Monroe, while Declan Conway has dished out 3 assists. Scott Koash with a 3-point night as well for the Moccasins. Game that's gone final. Second one of the night that's gone final on our out-of-town scoreboard. Lobsters dominate the River Dragons behind Philip Virgili's hat trick. 5-1 the final there. Brendan Ronan had a goal and an assist. Garrett Milan with 2 assists. And it was all Lobsters in that one. It's all Seawolves. They lead the Land Wolves 5-0 in the third. Dalton Anderson has scored twice. Blake Keller has one as well. All Mississippi down in Biloxi early stages, third period. They're in the second intermission in Baton Rouge, and the Bobcats continue to hold on to their 3-goal lead. They're up 5-2. Of course, here, once again, Prowlers fall tonight by a final of 7-3. Once again, we invite you to tune in tomorrow night if you can't make it out here to McMorran Place for a law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics night. Be sure to check us out here on the PHP Network. 7:05 puck drop tomorrow and a 6:50 pregame. So we hope to see you in the arena, but if not, we hope to see you here. For Kim running the camera, I'm Will Wiggleman. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the PHP Network.